We are live. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I'm here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not going to happen in this video, but that's okay. I'm going to live to fight another day. Joining me all the way from vacation, even though she don't have to, but I love her for it anyway, is Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Good evening, I think, for you. Is it nighttime?
It is nighttime.
Okay, yeah. Good evening. Like, share, subscribe. I don't mind being here. It's 10 o'clock at night where I'm at, so I've pretty much done all I could for the day. So I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I love it. I did not realize my microphone was, so you probably couldn't have heard me then because my microphone wasn't even on.
I was able to hear you.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so y'all, hi, Kevin Reynolds. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much on this late evening that I usually do not do, but it is the day before Indigenous People Day or Thanksgiving or however you choose to celebrate Thursday with all that food. It was a busy day for me because I had to scram everything I would usually do on a Thursday into a Wednesday, and it threw me completely off. So I'm sorry, y'all, but y'all getting this late, but we here. So the episode actually opens up. We are still on a good Sunday evening church service with Mary. And she has the ladies return back to good old Walter's restaurant. Good old Walter. So if y'all remember, Mary hosted a very similar event for the ladies at Walter's restaurant season 1 with her and, that thieving ass lady, got into it about who was blacker at the table, which pissed me off, by the way. And that's when Mary had gifted them that very expensive Louis Vuitton earbuds. So the ladies are, arriving one by one. Angie gets there first. They are handed 2003 Dom Perignon, which I will be buying one day to try it myself because I have to know what this tastes like. Like, I have to know. So Mary also gifts them some very dangerous koi fish, which, they would kill each other. Each one of the ladies has that. As everyone is arriving, everyone thanks Mary for her beautiful church service, which it was. It was actually very, very beautiful. As the ladies takes her seat, Mary makes a very big announcement that they are missing someone, and that is Brittany. Mary and Brittany had a little bit of a scuffle on the boat, which caused Brittany to be uninvited from Mary's church and the later on event. Then when Mary called Brittany to tell her that she would not be invited, Brittany then apologized for making that statement because she really didn't mean it. And Mary thought that was absolutely big of her to do so. And then she kind of felt like maybe I should invite her. So she asked the dog if she should invite Brittany. Like, give me a paw if I should invite Brittany. That dog looked at Mary and went right back on that floor and laid down. And so the dog said, hey, we're not going to invite Brittany. So it parlays it into Mary making this speech about saying something of the effect that I am sorry, kind of talking to Meredith, but not talking to Meredith, talking to all the ladies, saying that I'm sorry for, if I hurt you or anything. And Heather stops her mid-sentence and say, see, that's what we're missing, the I'm sorry. And she turns over to Lisa, because when Lisa and Heather met up, Lisa wasn't apologizing for anything. Lisa said, I didn't do nothing. My name is Bennett. I ain't in it. I just was listening. Meredith didn't do nothing. All she did was vent to me. I'm sorry that Brittany heard it, but that's what it was. So it bothers me to a core that Meredith and Lisa are going to stick with this, that nothing happened more than Meredith and Lisa were venting, or Meredith was venting to Lisa, and Brittany was able to overhear it. Meredith doesn't know how she was able to overhear. She had her headphones in, so she didn't think she was talking that loud. So the other collective ladies, which are Whitney, Mary, Angie, and Heather, saying, no, that is not what happened, Meredith. You did not do that. You were very loud, and it went on for hours and hours and hours. Whitney then said that I was awake the entire flight and still heard you, and it went on. And then when we landed, it took the 4 of us to get Brittany off of the plane. And then from there, you guys didn't even sit with us at customs. Y'all just kind of went off and did your own thing. And Lisa says she has like official border entry or something like that. She doesn't need to go
Oh,
through
global
customs.
entry. It's
Global entry.
yeah, it's like $200. It's for people who don't have criminal records and travel often. It's only for the US. All it does is it makes it faster going through customs and stuff. It's very common. You don't need to be rich to have it. It's cost $196 and it's good for 5 years.
Something I know to get now. Thank you for telling me that because I never knew about it. I don't go out of the country, y'all, so I don't know. I've only been to Mexico, and that's it. I've never been anywhere else. So, and that's going to change in the later years of my 30s. Now, my first half of my 30s had to get my life together. This last part of my 30s, oh, there definitely is going to be some international travel. Oh, my passport, I've had 14 years that I just have to blow the dust off of. So, yes,
Gotta renew it now.
I know it expired. I think 2 years ago. I have to go renew the shit, and I thought that'd be an easy process. I got to go to the post office. I said, God
Not
damn
no
it!
more. You can renew
Really?
online now.
Oh, they told me to go to the post office. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you can do it online
I
now.
thought I didn't know. Okay, well, good. I don't need a new picture then. So, the ladies are calling bullshit that Lisa has, the global, whatever that's called. They said she had it, she wouldn't have to stand in line when we were leaving the country. So she obviously does not have it. It's not something that you have to check out on the app. You actually can just say you have it, and they look it up, and there you go. That's what the ladies were saying. And Meredith is just like, listen, I'm sorry that Brittany's feelings were hurt. I'm sorry that this is what she goes through. And Heather goes, are you really sorry, Meredith? Or is this just, something you're just saying? And she goes, no, I'm sorry that she's hurt as a human being, but I'm not sorry for what happened. And all the ladies realistically were trying to make sense to Meredith. Even Mary, I had to give it to Mary. Mary was like, look, Meredith, it bothers me that you don't recall what you did on that plane. Like, you're simply saying that I don't recall what happened. Like, I don't recall that being my experience. I vented to Lisa. She's sticking with the story. And Mary's like, that's not what happened. We all saw it. Why do we all have the same story? And so Meredith gets pissed off saying that, well, I don't trust anything that Whitney says because according to Whitney, she's talking behind my back and she's venting to someone about me. And Meredith looks over at Bronwyn. And Whitney's like, what are you talking about? She goes, something you said. My drinking, I have a problem. And so Whitney recalls a conversation she had with Bronwyn. She said, well, I told Bronwyn about that situation. So did she run back and tell you? And Bronwyn got put on the spot and decided to say, yeah, I told Meredith that it seemed like from the girl's perspective of the trip, there may have been something that influenced Meredith to be there or to be in that state. And in her confessional, she said, I didn't say that, Whitney said that she was on drugs or anything. I just said it could have been a few reasons. So Whitney said that. Whitney gave her the 3 reasons of what it could have been. And Meredith with her, oh, that's disgusting. Like, you're a liar. You always lie, everything, just completely deflecting. And so Bronwyn was like, okay. This is what cracks me up because I was pissed at Bronwyn, but I'm going to say this and I'm going to go back to the story. I think it's interesting that Bronwyn threw Whitney under the bus like that and told Meredith, because I did watch the after show. Because I had to make sense of this. Because it was like, okay, well, why I could see if you were trying to get both sides of the story and trying to add up, but for you to blatantly tell Meredith what Whitney told you or what Whitney proposed, Bronwyn, that's not good. So Bronwyn said that, she completely lost trust with Whitney. Whitney lost trust in her, and she basically sabotaged her friendship to ask Meredith, could that be true? And she didn't even have to do that. All you had to do was take both sides of the story, see how it lines up. And if they both were faulty, then you just got to wait till it unravels. Y'all are on the show. It's all recorded. I'm sure there's footage. And if there's not footage, I'm sure there's somebody that's going to come forward from production and say, yes, Meredith is tripping. Or no, Meredith was not tripping. And I don't know what these girls are talking about. It's going to happen. So for you to completely run your mouth to Meredith about something that Whitney was just proposing, it wasn't like Whitney knew for sure that's what was going on. So I have to ask you, Mrs. Best, because this was very interesting that that Bronwyn would do that, even though we know Bronwyn's not loyal to anybody. But I find it interesting that she teetered to that side, because usually Bronwyn kind of aligns herself with, Whitney, Angie, Mary, kind of that. So for her to actually blurt that out to those, I found that highly interesting, especially because she doesn't get along with Lisa. So, in your opinion, why do you think Bronwyn had a little bit of diarrhea at the mouth and told Meredith Whitney's, without saying it was Whitney, but she knew it was Whitney's proposition?
Proposition? What is she proposing?
That Meredith could have been on drugs. Did I
Oh,
not say that?
okay.
Oh, I didn't say that. Sorry.
So
I didn't say that. Sorry.
to those who don't know, I am abroad. I'm in the country of Mexico. I have been unable to watch a lot of American TV shows, so I am catching up based on what I have seen on YouTube, social media, and James Jackson. Uh, Bronwyn has a big mouth in general. I think that Bronwyn suffers from diarrhea at the mouth naturally. This lady is in her second season, and we know about her teenage pregnancy, her feelings on Mormonism, the issues in her family, stuff about Todd. She's talking about being okay with evolving into sharing her marriage. So I'm not surprised that Brahma would share stuff about Whitney because she has vomit at the mouth with her own damn business. So I'm kind of like, if Brahma wasn't sharing her own personal stuff that most people would keep private, I would feel away. But I don't blame her. I feel like nobody new that comes on this show should have allegiance or loyalty to anybody because all of the people who are there before will turn on them at the drop of a dime. They like to stick together to get people out the way they did Monica, the way they come for Jen Shaw, all of that. So I don't fully feel bad for Braun or for Whitney with that, but then it is a little like because Whitney has been the one person to kind of consistently try to side with Bronwyn. But to me, I look at it as Whitney's karma. Whitney makes a lot of negative accusations about everybody on this show at times. Look at the shit she said about Mary. That was in seasons ago. So I kind of feel like if it was anybody else, I might feel a little more different. But with it being Whitney, maybe Bronwyn's her karma. And also the lies and the nastiness. And I don't remember. And I wouldn't be surprised if Meredith was on drugs. No, nobody fucking talk like that naturally. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, it's not okay to allege that somebody could be on drugs, but if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, then I'm gonna call the that I see a duck. And the way that Meredith be acting is off. Now, a lot of white women do will talk in like kind of an uppity, preppy way, giving us the legally blonde speak, I call it. But Meredith, I don't know, the way Meredith operates in general, especially with her weird obsession with bathtubs and how she spazzes, maybe somebody do need to allege that this lady's on drugs so she stops spazzing out on people and then crying her white women tears later. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I feel like, to me, Meredith has just completely like swallowed the lawyer. I'm going to be politically correct. I'm going to be, you know, innocent until I'm proven guilty. I'm going to stick to the same story so that way there's no flaw in who I am. I think she has clutched onto that for dear life, and I don't understand why. Because to me, you wouldn't need to do that if you were telling the truth. Like, you wouldn't need to do all of that. All you would have to do is say, hey, I don't know what y'all talking about. Or even if, like, okay, let's say for hindsight, let's say Meredith is telling the truth. Maybe the girls are over exaggerating her angst and anger on that plane. At least admit that you were angry at what happened and you may have gotten heightened or loud. She just said she was just venting to Lisa, and venting sometimes doesn't always have to be, a like an excessive, like loud talking. It could just be like you were just kind of, conversating and it just go on. But to me, all of them put it as like she was just over the top. And Meredith is sticking to, no, that didn't happen. And then the timeline also Meredith is sticking to was only maybe 30 minutes. And the lady says it went on for hours. So it's so much inconsistency, and without footage, it's hard for me to really determine. Now, do I think Meredith did it? Yes, I do. I think Meredith did exactly what they're all saying. And the only reason why I think that Meredith did it is because I know Mary doesn't lie. Mary has not lied on the show at all. So I have a little bit more allegiance to trust Mary's word. And that's the only reason. Because if it was just Heather, Whitney, and Angie, I would have said, okay, I need to see the footage. But because Mary has been someone who's been kind of consistent with everything, I'm willing to trust that it did happen if Mary's saying it's happened. That's what I'm going to go with.
I agree with that, because if Mary doesn't want to talk about something, she just won't talk about it, but she won't lie. So I do give her that. But at the same time, I also feel like I don't feel like what happened was as dramatic as the other women are making it seem. I can't see flight attendants escorting someone off of a plane and comforting someone who's being berated and bullied without, they got people sitting on planes who we don't know about, who look like passengers who are meant to stop BS. They got all sorts of stuff on planes. Flight attendants are trained to tackle full grown men, for those who do not know. So I can't see something like this happening in first class of all places, because if they're disturbing each other, they're probably disturbing other people. I just can't see the plane staff, or however you call it, flight staff, not doing more. And I feel like it would have came out via TMZ or page 6, like something would have come out. We've got no footage, we've got no statements from anybody who was on the plane, whether it's crew or people who were just passengers. Like, so I do think that Meredith did something, but we have to remember Meredith is an attorney. And I'm sorry, y'all may view what I'm about to say as slightly racist, but oh well, because Black people have to deal with the shit all the time. White people have a heavy habit of knowing how to fuck with people without getting themselves in trouble. And I don't care what nobody says about it. I feel like Meredith has that skill down pat. She probably sat there and berated and harassed Brittany in ways that were enough to upset Brittany, but not enough to get Meredith put off of the plane or to draw a scene. And
Mm-hmm.
Brittany probably sat there crying silently, probably embarrassed. So I feel like Meredith and Lisa probably did something to Brittany on that plane, but I don't feel like what they did was as dramatic as what the other women said, because throughout this episode and in the after show and on Watch What Happens Live, every woman done recanted what they said happened in some way. They've all changed their stories except for Mary. So I don't know. I don't feel like it was that big what happened, but they definitely, something did happen. I don't want to put that past Meredith or Lisa. They need to go. This is an HR issue. And the fact that Bravo keeps letting stuff like that happen. And I don't even like Brittany, but if someone's being harassed on a plane because of something so small, because Brittany ain't even done nothing to any of them for Meredith to be this upset with her, like, no. I'm getting tired of Bravo. Step in.
I am too. Like, for me, honestly, because, and this is where my problem with Bravo is. Now, had Brittany been the type of person to climb across that scene, slap the shit out of Meredith, then it would be a whole nother issue. Then we would have footage of that. We would have saw that shit. Or like Mrs. Best said, we would have saw a TMZ story. Someone would have leaked the shit. So the fact that we're keeping this sealed tight, nobody has no evidence of this. Nobody has nothing. That's what bothers me about this whole story, is that nobody had this. But as I said, if Brittany was the type to slap the shit out of Meredith, then we would have had something. So why are y'all protective Meredith? Ain't no producer come forward and confirmed it, and they were all on that flight. No crew members have come forward and said anything, and they were on that flight. So you mean to tell me no one is coming forward and saying anything? So it's hard for me to trust that happened, but at the same time, I don't put it past Meredith, because Meredith has done other shit on the show that proves that she is capable of doing that. That's why I'm like, I
When there's
struggle with this.
smoke, there's fire, and no one would just be saying this if Meredith didn't do something. So
Yeah,
while the something she did may not be as extreme as the other women are making it seem, she did do something. And that's the problem I have with Meredith. Could be accountable. You did something. If you did it, either own it or apologize. And she ain't done neither. And I don't care what y'all say on the internet. That was not an apology, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get there. Absolutely. The next scene we have is Meredith and Lisa are at the nail salon, and they're talking about what happened and how Meredith is really disappointed in Heather because with Whitney, she already expects that. Whitney always makes it apparent to come after Meredith year after year after year. But with Heather, she thought there would be a little bit more allegiance, a little bit more loyalty, to her. And this whole thing with Brittany, like they're pretty much sticking to nothing happened. So Lisa tells Meredith that, she talked to Brittany. She did. And Meredith asked how that went. And she pretty much said that she wanted her to take accountability because she was equally as involved as Meredith was. Lisa said that didn't happen that way. And I'm looking at Lisa like, you just ain't never going to be accountable. You're never going to say, I was the bad guy. No, no, no. Because she's so worried about her image, y'all. Lisa is something else. Like, I had to watch Lisa. Like, I have to really watch Lisa and go, wow. The nonsensical delusion that you have is absolutely interesting. And then they showed a snippet of what they were talking about, and her and Lisa in this. And I really, honestly, I knew it was going to be the same thing. Lisa deflecting. Lisa was going to say she didn't do anything. Lisa said that she, all Meredith was doing was just venting and everything. And it's like, damn, y'all really went into this season having each other's back. And I said, Meredith is better than me. Meredith is way better than me, y'all, because there's no way I would trust Lisa again. But because they're outnumbered and Mary's always going to stand on the side of right, no matter what, they have no choice but to align with each other. But Lisa thinks that Meredith should go and meet up with Brittany and, have that conversation. And, Meredith says she'll think about it, And I'm just looking at them two like, this conversation should have been happened. And Meredith, you should have been apologized to Brittany because nothing that Brittany did was really all that fucking serious to begin with. But we're going to get there, as me and Mrs. Best said. But I just had to mention that whole scene. So, Mrs. Best, I know you didn't watch it, but based on what I said about Lisa meeting up with Brittany, did you think that was an interesting move, or do you think that she was trying to get ahead of the responsibility?
I actually saw this. So
Okay.
I did what I did, y'all. I went and just watched. I don't know what order of what I watched what in, but I watched a bunch of clips on YouTube, what I could find. Lisa's full of shit. That's all I have.
You was, because I was just listening to her, and then when you saw the conversation, you were like, you didn't take any accountability. You didn't apologize. And you basically tried to make this lady look like she was just wrong in the whole situation.
Lisa's going to get to a point, and I don't think Lisa realizes this. Like, you say she's so concerned about her image, and it's like, why? Your image is already ruined. Nobody trusts you. We think you're a bad person. We think you're a shitty wife. We think you're a questionable mom. Like, there's a lot of things with Lisa that we could really say, and almost none of them are positive. So Lisa's worried about an image that's already tarnished. Lisa's disingenuous. When you make a move like this so late, it doesn't make sense. And then if you're going to be loyal to your friend, then be loyal to your friend. Like, if I'm going to be harassing a bitch and not liking somebody, then I'm going to just stick beside James and stick to that. I'm not going to go meet with that person away from him trying to make myself look better or to fix it. That doesn't make sense. If he don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. And it's just like that. And y'all who don't like it, I don't care. So that's how friends are. Lisa does this backpedaling thing. She's for no one but herself. She's for literally no one but herself. So with Lisa, all I can say is I never trust the bitch that'll fuck over her own sister for some dick. And in that order. And I'll leave it there.
Ooh, Lord. So we gonna move on, y'all. So the next thing we see is Whitney driving that big ass U-Haul. Whitney rented a big ass U-Haul for Heather to move one mattress. She literally bought the $29.99 U-Haul truck for one mattress. Whitney, you could have got a pickup truck. Whitney, you could have got the van. You could have got anything, but why would you show up in that big ass U-Haul? They do too much on this show. But Whitney pulls up to Heather's house in the U-Haul so they can take out Heather's mattress. Heather explained that she has had this mattress from literally the first day her and her husband got married. So it's over a 20-year mattress. She's been married for 14 years. She's had all three of her children on this mattress. She has done everything under the sun on this mattress. So they were pulling out the mattress and they were taking it downstairs, and you saw all kind of stains, yellow stains, red stains, all kind of shit on this mattress. And I said, oh my God, bravo, y'all not shit for this. Y'all are not shit for this. I promise you. Why would y'all zoom in on that shit? And I was just like, oh, whoa. Like, seriously. Thanos, you look ridiculous. Not, y'all better stop calling this lady. It is. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Bims, who is in my chat right now. Oh my God, I'm such a huge fan of you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. He said mattress covered in brown stains. Who knew Heather? Mims, you be trolling. I couldn't even finish that. It was terrible, y'all. But Mims ain't lying though, y'all. It was terrible. I said, Heather, don't ever do this again. And
How does that happen? Because, like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna behave. I've been drinking a little tequila though, y'all. So if I am struggling through the live, I apologize. I'm out of the country. But this colorless bitch, don't you ever come on my screen with a mattress that looks like this. Don't you ever do that. Because in the point of a sheet to protect the mattress, what is going on?
It
What
just
is
gives
happening?
like it just
What is
gives
happening?
like
Was she not putting a sheet on it? And who
I
the
have no
fuck keeps
idea.
a mattress for 20 years?
I just was about to say that. I
I mean,
literally was just about to say that.
I don't understand it because on a serious note, right? I've been with my husband since 2009. We've switched out our mattresses a few times and none of them had stains, but I just feel like after a couple years, you got to refresh. You got to refresh. I don't understand some of the things that the colorless do. I don't. I just don't. This has to be colorless behavior because who keeps a mattress for 20 years?
I don't know. It's like, and then not only that, Hunter has moved from one house to the next. You mean to tell me you had that mattress that long that you didn't think when you were moving into a new house that you would just get
Mm-mm.
another one?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
The fuck am I watching?
Trifling. Trifling. But
And
you know
so
what? The colorless also like to run around outside with their shoes off and stuff proudly. So I'm just gonna say maybe this is some of them activities, but to keep a mattress for 20 years. Ay ay ay.
oh my God, you're so welcome. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I am so honored to have you here. They had mattress protectors. They also had beds and bags. You don't have, so you don't get bed bugs. It wouldn't surprise me if she had them. Like I'm gonna say allegedly because that's lawsuit terms. But the way that mattress looked, it wouldn't surprise me if Heather didn't have some shit on there because that's nasty. Like, ugh. Like, oh my gosh. Girl, whenever I buy a mattress, I get a warranty, and every 2 to 3 years, I tell them something wrong with the mattress, and we need to swap it out for new ones.
Exactly. The shit mattresses come with warranties. Even if you going, because I ain't judging nobody. I know when I was broke, still living in DP Stokeland at 18, I had to get my furniture from Rent a Center. No shame in my game. They offer a warranty.
They sure do.
I'm like, why would you? I just can't grasp this type of thing. Not
I
you don't
can't.
bathe daily. Wait a minute. But
That's
we
why I
have seen
love like
Heather a couple of times in scenes. I just can't. Got done skiing. I'm really sweaty. I don't smell good. Sorry about that. Going to people's houses. Don't don't ever go to my house sweaty and funky, expected to sit on my couches and get served food. I can't with Heather.
Oh yeah, and this Thanksgiving tomorrow too. We finna see some Soul Glow. Oh yeah, it's all finna be here. Not Shani is a Dr. Wendy. Ooh, y'all. Because I didn't even think to do that. Not saying though, like for real, I buy mattresses every 5 years.
As you
I'm
should.
one of I'm one of those people. I buy every 5 years. So I've only had the mattress on my current bed for 3. So in a couple of
That
years,
bed is
I have to.
comfortable.
You think? I honestly think it's not that comfortable. I really don't think.
I
Like
think your
honestly,
bed is sturdy enough to get busy on, but comfortable enough to fall asleep on. I think it's a great bed.
no, it is a great bed. But I'm just saying, I want to replace it this next year, but it's not my 5 year rule, so I can't do that. But yeah, it's a situation. But yeah, every 5 years, Heather. So if you watching me, Heather, every 5 years buy a new mattress, because that does not make sense for you to keep that mattress and then you had a cover on the top of it, so I can only imagine what the other side of that mattress looked like. But Heather said wasn't no man on it, wasn't no male male sentiments on it, sentiments or whatever that's called. There was none of
That's
that on
even
there.
worse. That would at least explain why the mattress is a little bit nasty. So that lets us know it's all you, Heather. You are the reason for this nasty ass mattress. I would have blamed that shit on the man. I would have blamed that on the man. I just would.
Lord Jesus, y'all is cracking me up. Y'all gonna throw me off on my live in this chat. Shandy said, "Thank you, Lord, for allowing me to have this house with multiple bedrooms and multiple beds, so I don't have to sleep in the same one every single night if I don't want to." I know that's right.
Amen.
I know that's right. Multiple bedrooms and multiple beds. Go ahead, Shanny. Go
But Heather
ahead. Go
got us
ahead. Go.
fucked up though. On a serious tip, y'all, a mattress cover at Walmart is $10.99.
I, I,
$10.99. I'm just saying. $10.99 at Walmart.
I mean, we just happy you here. Yes, I know it's all love. We got you. I know you. I watch you all the time, so I know you. We're gonna move it along, y'all. To Heather and Whitney's conversation in the little U-Haul, driving it to the mattress recycling place. Even though y'all could call them and just tell them to come pick the shit up, because I've done that too. I'm not hauling no mattress in anywhere. Y'all come get this shit and then go on up in there and have it out. So this will crack me up. So they're talking, about the conversation, and Whitney is saying that she would have liked to have had that conversation with Meredith to kind of, pull out her points, since Meredith doesn't remember what happened, which she thinks is crazy. She wanted to have that conversation, but she didn't expect that coward Bronwyn, as she said. I said, "Oh, not Bronwyn's a coward. Oh, okay," to go ahead and say it. And Whitney relates, Meredith's situation of not remembering a situation of her dad, and how her dad used to lie to her when he was on his addictions, and how he used to say and lie and do all kind of things. And it reminds her of, Meredith. And I'm just like, oh, I mean, good point. Good point. But at the same time, I think, Whitney, you're over exaggerating. I think Meredith got angry, got mad, and is put on full attorney hat, because attorney hat's your word against mine. There's no proof of it, because nothing got, flushed out to the cameras. None, there was no behind the scenes. There was no nothing. Nobody took out their phones. Nobody has anything unless they're saving it for the reunion, which I think that's what they're doing. But Whitney is mad at Bronwyn. And when she called her a coward, I said, "Oh, wow. Coward is not really the words you should be using. You should use backstabber. You should use, Shane Loyal to nobody. You could use that." But saying she was a coward because she fessed up, so said she did it, and said that she blew your trust for Meredith, which would have insulted me personally. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that? Did you get to that point with them, their conversation in the U-Haul?
No, I'm sorry, y'all. Mexico won't let me be great.
No, okay, but no, it's all right. You on vacation? You in a whole other country? Ain't nobody. I'm happy you here. But how would you? But based on our beginning of the conversation with Bronwyn, stabbing Whitney in the back to tell Meredith what she alleged, and then Whitney calling her coward. Do you think Whitney was within her right? Do you think coward is the correct word to use for someone who did that, or do you think she could have went a little bit deeper?
I mean, I don't think if Brahma was a coward, she probably wouldn't have said nothing. honestly, y'all not gonna like my opinion on this. To me, Bronwyn don't owe none of these women shit. Not one of them. She don't know them. She's only on season 2, and these women have a history of doing new housewives shady. So I do not feel like Bronwyn owes them anything. But I understand Whitney being upset about that. But yeah, Bronwyn don't owe you nothing, Whitney. Get over it. Because these women will turn on you at the drop of a dime or for whatever. Because it looked like I haven't really been feeling Whitney since that whole Monica situation when Monica season. Because it seemed like at the reunion, like Whitney wanted to give Monica grace, but it seemed like she didn't because of the other women. So if anything, Whitney, to me, Whitney's a coward. And I'm curious why she's still here. But that's just
Interesting approach. I didn't see you going there, but I understand. She could have paid someone to come and pick up that nasty ass mattress. It would cost less than that to rent a damn U-Haul. Well, here's the thing. She did that because they needed a scene. Because Heather ain't got no goddamn storyline to begin with, and it's coming across that Whitney doesn't either, because we still ain't heard about this business failing. We ain't heard what happened. We didn't heard how much she in the hole with. We just know that she lost millions. But does that mean that you lost your savings? Does that mean you lost your investments? What does that mean?
she's not going to tell us what that means. She's never going to tell us.
Well, then don't tell us your business failed, because we already knew that. We already knew based on what the shit was that it would have. Like, y'all have to understand, reality TV, y'all cannot build businesses on reality TV. It does not work. It does not work when you build, like, yes, have the business, use it for promotion, but y'all can thank Bethany Frankel for the skinny margaritas or whatever the fuck she invented. Y'all can blame her for this shit.
But nasty ass margaritas.
Yeah, but never build a business, because it's never gonna work. It's never gonna work.
I mean, some people have been successful in the businesses that they built on reality TV. I think Karen Huger's perfume is a good example. That's just what's coming to the top of my head right now. But I don't think that everyone knows how to appropriately build a business when you're on a platform and have to share a portion of your profits with the network that is airing you. I don't know. I don't look at Whitney as a businesswoman. I know that sounds a little mean, but I would prefer if Whitney just leaned into the housewife thing, but that's kind of hard for her to do since her husband can't seem to get a job no more. So I mean,
it's kind of like we kind of running out of resources. So yeah, keep this check as a backup. Did you see that Daniels looked at Whitney when she called her? Yeah, because guess how that's gonna get back to Bronwyn. Whitney, your cousin gonna throw you under the bus. Because Heather,
aren't they cousins by like some weird ass like Mormon incest or something? Like what? How are they even? They don't act like cousins.
If I remember correctly, they have the same grandfather. If I remember correctly, but he was like a philanderer. He had like a whole bunch of women pregnant and shit. If I remember that story correctly.
Yes, that's what they explained, I believe, in the earlier season.
Yeah, so because I remember when Angie Harrington, because that's also their cousin too. So, but they only found out about each other like 5 or 10 years ago. It was like very short. So yeah, nasty shit. But y'all swear up and down that religion is beautiful. Did you see that scene because she was on, what tour? Take a sip. Oh yes, because she on vacation. Oh snap! I didn't know Thanos lost her business. The beauty lab is no more. Wait, what?
No, Beauty Lab is still there.
Beauty Lab is still there. When she lose her business, Shani?
I think maybe she confused us discussing Whitney.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, wait, when did Heather lose her business? Shani, don't do this. Don't do that to us. Because I was literally about to have a heart attack. Because I was about to Google the fuck out of that right on this live. Like I really was.
Heather still has Beauty Lab, and she's very lucky to have it. Because I don't want to go to no Beauty Lab with no inbred looking lady. Because how you gonna help me be more beautiful when you look?
But that's how they all look. Like when you go into them places. Like I went with Chelsea one day, and literally the ladies that worked up in there, no shade to them. It was like, see, if that's the end result, I'd rather keep my wrinkles and imperfections. If that's the end result, I'm just gonna say it like that. because it was not flattering. It was not anything that I would think you would want to do. But these women, especially in Scottsdale, they will swear up and down by that damn Botox. I promise you.
Mm.
Yeah. Thanos and Whitney are in. I'm not going here with y'all today. I'm not going here with y'all today. That's why Thanos looks inbred per me.
She just refuses to call her anything outside of Thanos.
I mean,
As she's
I
saying this
said,
because my
I
phone is
said rock.
listening. My phone is now recommending me to watch Marvel Entertainment. Swearing. Subscribe to Marvel on YouTube, Mrs. Best. Why my phone is
See, I
listening.
said, but see, I said that Heather looks like Rocky Dennis.
Oh,
So, because she does to me, I'm sorry. Every time I look at Heather, and I'm glad they put season 1 Heather on this episode, because when you look at Heather season 1 and you look at her today, Heather has fucked up her face. Like, Heather has fucked up her face. Like, I was looking at Heather and I was
she
like,
says
damn.
she likes it.
No, she
She
should
says
love
she
it. I'm
likes it.
not.
She's
I'm
very
not
open.
saying.
She's very open about her plastic or what is they call it?
Yeah,
Cosmetic procedures. I don't know.
it
Heather's
just
weird to
it
me.
looks rough. Like, it looks like, I feel like if I punch it, I'm gonna break my hand. Like, I just feel like I just feel like it's not right. But that's not my body. I'm not trying to shame her. Do what you need to do to make yourself happy. I doubt that that's really what's gonna make you happy. But if it does, then hey, I mean, nothing what I said is worse than what Mary called you. Sorry, it ain't. We're not gonna do Rocky like that. What you trying to say, Shani? What are you trying to say, Shani? What are you trying to
Mhm.
say?
Shani was
Was she
pretty.
got her face
My
and
twin
body
was
done?
pretty clear.
Let's move on, y'all. But that was Whitney Heather's little scene. So we then
They
move
don't even
on.
really like each other. Before you move on, Whitney and Heather irk me because I feel like they don't like each other, but they deal with each other because they have to for the show. But
Oh, absolutely. You know what, Shani?
he
I'm
does.
not I'm not doing this with y'all
I
today.
agree. I agree.
I'm not doing this with y'all today. I am not doing this with y'all today. I'm just saying I am not doing this. So we move on to the next scene, which is with Brittany and her daughter. They could decide to go see a therapist to work on their relationship. And I really don't want to talk about this because I
It was just
know
one of the daughters.
it's just one of the, yeah. And that's another thing. Where is the other daughter and why is she not a part of this? Maybe the other daughter don't want shit to do with Brittany because I think the other daughter is the older daughter, the oldest one. Because I think Olivia is the youngest one. I think that oldest daughter don't want shit to do with Brittany, but I need the oldest daughter to come out and do an interview with somebody. Because I feel like for me, why are we only seeing Olivia when there's another one? So Shani said, James, this is me when in the comments while I'm sober. No devil lettuce as of yet. Okay. All right, Shani. I got you. But see, I mean, I just can't get past that. That's all I would say. But anyways, so they go into the therapist scene, and the daughter is giving us even more tea. She said that when Brittany divorced her dad, she married her second husband, and then became the stepmom, the mom she had to his children, and just completely just threw them by the wayside and left them with their dad. And I said, "Oh, see, we didn't get this tea before. We didn't know that the man, the second man she had other children, and then you playing mama to them kids while you had your own children living with your first husband." And Olivia said that she feels that Brittany wanted to look perfect in her husband's eyes to be that perfect mom, to be there. And As she said, there were 7 years of my life where I didn't even have her. I couldn't reach out. I couldn't do anything. But here I see you being a great mom to all my step brothers and sisters. So it hurt her to see that. And I said, damn, Brittany, just when I we want to root for you, I didn't hear stories like this. Because I could see if you, and no, I can't see it, but I moved my mic. Sorry, y'all. I could see if, but I can't see this. So y'all, please let me land first. I could see if you just got married and then got distracted with a man, and that just happened and made you just a fucked up mom. But to know that you sat up there and got married, and then when this man had his slew of children, you decided to say fuck your own, and I'm gonna help him raise his. That's some crazy shit. I hear the story a lot. It's not Brittany's not the first. This is not the first time I've ever heard a story like that. I've heard this story quite often, especially living here in Phoenix. This is something that happens a lot. I was flabbergasted because it was like, so the problem is that you weren't a bad mom per se. You just didn't like your situation with your ex-husband, and whatever came with them is very Brian McKnight. Very Brian McKnight. So when the daughter was saying that, I said, so that makes more sense to me, because it made sense. Neglect is neglect, no matter how it comes or no matter what the story is. Neglect is neglect. But when the daughter said that she had to see Brittany be a good mother to stepchildren versus having her own children, I wanted to tell Olivia it had nothing to do with you as your daddy. It had nothing really to do with you. It was just you were collateral damage of your dad. Because something tells me the dad left Brittany. And she thought she could rewrite her wrongs by getting with somebody else and appeasing a man. So it wasn't you. And I wish that therapist that was sitting there talking about, well, Brittany, you have needs too and everything. It's like, because Brittany said, like, I feel like what I need does not matter. It's what she needs. And the therapist says, no, you have needs too, and you matter, and you have needs. She does matter, and yes, she does have needs, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about 7 years of neglect and the fact that you were helping someone else raise their kids when you had two of your own that you had no contact with. That's what we're talking about. So I didn't like the therapy session. I felt like that therapist, I feel like we were just kind of escaping off the issue, because I would need Brittany to explain to me, and probably she did off camera. Maybe it was too sensitive for her to share it on camera. But for the sake of, let's pretend she didn't do that. I would need Brittany to explain to me why you felt it was necessary for you to raise your husband's children and not bring your collective children with your first husband to that same household and raise them all together. Why was that never a conversation? So, Mrs. Best, based on what I described, in your professional opinion, because I'm going to drag that in there, like, what do you think of that story that Olivia said and how she felt like she saw Brittany raise these other kids? What happened with me?
It's unfortunate, but I believe the daughter had said in a previous episode that something had happened that led the girls to having to live with their dad. So I'm wondering if, since the girls were with their dad, Brittany just like ignored them. Either way, she's wrong. Um, I don't understand how a woman can go through a 9-month gestational period and labor and do this. I don't understand it, but it does happen. Um, I don't like any of it. I feel like if Brittany were on another platform or looked a different type of way, she would get a little bit more hell for it. The therapist, I don't know what the fuck she was doing, if she was just trying to play mediator and let people get their feelings out. I don't know if this was a first session. I don't know what it is, but in situations where a parent's done a child wrong and a child is younger, coming into adulthood and starting out, the child is not at fault. The child has a reason to feel the way that she feels. It kind of felt like the therapist dismissed, because I did see this scene. I felt like the therapist dismissed a little bit unintentionally Olivia. Um, Olivia can't even make peace or have a relationship with her mom without having to have a camera shoved in her face and do it on national television. So I actually commend Brittany's daughter for loving her mom enough to air out all the family stuff on television, because I think that's hard. but I didn't like any of it. I don't respect Brittany as a mom. I don't think that what Meredith did to Brittany was right. But at the same time, I just don't respect Brittany as a woman or a mom based on how she moves with men and her kids. There's no excuse for you to do that. I'm not surprised though, because Brittany doesn't seem to care. And Whitney having to explain to her, like, choose your daughter, don't lie to your kids about seeing Jared and stuff like that. Like, I'm over watching stuff like this. I really am. Because, you think about it in some ways, these women came so damn hard at Monica. They have strong opinions about Jen Shaw, but Jen Shaw may have been fucking over the elderly, but not her kids. Monica may have ran the Reality Von Tees account and exposed you hoes for coming to that account, because they were all exposed for coming to that account and leaking certain stuff. But she was still there for her kids and trying to be different from her mom, because Monica's mom was a piece of work, for those who don't remember. So I feel like no matter what people do, that's horrible. Like the worst of the worst. Hell, look at the diddler, Diddy, sitting in jail. And his kids is still accounting him to be a great father and all of this. Like the worst people can be the best to their kids. And the fact that Brittany can't do that, I've been drinking tequila, so I'm gonna just leave it there because I don't
That
want to
was
read this
hilarious.
bitch for filth.
No, I need you to. I won't, because I want to.
I
But
can't
what I
respect that
realized,
as a woman. I don't have kids. I don't have kids, but I don't understand how you could choose some dick over the well-being of your kids. And the well-being of your kids is not just food, housing, shelter. It's their mental well-being, their emotional well-being. Like it's a lot of different things. I also feel like Brittany don't need a therapist that's going to be like, but you matter. Because all Brittany does is think about herself.
right,
She seems to operate from a space of being self-centered. I don't like this bitch and her color penciled on eyebrows. I just don't. I don't like how she treats her kids. I don't like her high body count hair. I don't like a damn thing about Brittany. Um, and I feel like the producers are trying to like slowly inch her in to become like a more full-time housewife, but I don't want it. I don't want it. I feel like morals and ethics matter, and the way that this lady is as a parent is wrong. And if this was, let's say, a housewife of Atlanta or a housewife of Potomac or one of the women on Married to Medicine, this would be everywhere and Brittany would be getting dragged through the mud. But
hmm,
somehow she's getting away with the bullshit. And I'm honestly sick of it. Like scenes like this make me like, well, Meredith, I hope kicked her seat too on that plane. I do. Because how can you do that? How can you do that to your child? How can you look at someone you love and make an excuse for choosing a person that's not even around no more over someone that matters to you? Like it's just trifling. It's not
right.
okay.
Because after you left that man, what happened to them making up with your daughters and making up for lost time? Like, what happened to that?
I don't
And
think
I was,
Brittany wants to make up with her daughters. I think in Brittany's mind, she just wants to kind of move on. And the other thing I want to bring up, just because I do cover surviving Mormonism, I will do the last episode, y'all, on Sunday. But after watching that show, and James, you recapped it with me, we
mhm,
know that people in the Mormon church, and Brittany is still connected heavily, her family is still connected heavily. They have their own attorneys, they have their own mental health resources, and all of that. So maybe the therapist was from there or something,
it
because
could
I
have been.
didn't feel like the therapist did their job. But I also don't fully believe therapy that I see on television just based on the ethics that align with therapy, as well as the oath that we have to take with the 6 ethical standards and morals that we must follow. For those who don't know, I do go to school for it and work in the field. That's why I'm saying that it doesn't make sense for a therapist to have handled that situation the way that she did with them. So I'm like, maybe the bitch is with the Mormon church or something. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't want to see this anymore with Brittany.
I
I
don't
just
either, just
don't.
because it gets worse. It gets worse. And like Shani said, Brittany just made it sound like it was all because of a man. She ain't mentioned nothing about no stepkids. And she didn't. And that's what pissed me off. Because I said, well, wait a minute, where the fuck did some stepkids come from? I thought it was just a man.
Because them
You
kids
need to
probably didn't mean shit to her either. She probably don't keep in contact with them.
let me ask you this question. So if you think, so do you think that if Brittany had not mentioned she had children, like, do you really think like we would have liked her? Even like, because I don't know if I would have still liked her. I think I still would have been
No,
like, well, what are we
Brittany's
doing?
too desperate. Everything she does to me is very desperate. The way that she moves, she's really obnoxious, like without even trying. So I don't think people would have received her well. I think that she helps the show. Like if
Yeah,
we were to
I
not see her
agree.
kids and the way that she interacts with the women, the way that she moves, I think she helps the show. But she ain't shit as a mom. And if
She
you
sure
have
ain't.
kids, whether you a man or a woman, if you have kids and this is how you move, you ain't shit. You ain't nothing but a slice of cheese without the corners, bitch. You ain't shit. So
When I
that's how I
tell
feel.
you, it's crazy that you were better to the children that you did not birth than the children you did birth. That's absolutely insane to me. That's just
She
insane.
probably Brittany gives me Monique and Precious. She
Oh,
does.
oh,
Just a
oh, oh,
little
oh.
less intense, just resentful of
Damn.
her child because she got the child from the man and she probably thought she would stay with the man forever. And the man was probably helping to fund the child, especially because she come from a Mormon household. So the man is supposed to be the leader and all of that. Just for the man to leave her. I
Right.
just feel like when the divorce happened, I feel like Brittany divorced everything affiliated or that came with that man, kids included. And some women do that, some men do it. It's unfortunate, but Brittany ain't shit to me. She just ain't. I'll never respect a bitch that ain't there for their kids. I don't have kids myself, but I be seeing bitches that do their kids the way Brittany do their kids. I'd be like, ooh, you just raggedy. You
Just
just
right.
raggedy and trifling and desperate. And for what? And then she's doing all of this and risking her relationship with her daughter. Like you in therapy, but you still talking to Jared. What happens when Olivia sees that? That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. So I'm curious to see what will come out at the reunion with Brittany, but I don't want to see this no more with her and this baby because I feel like Bravo, though Brittany is responsible for the situation with her kids, I don't like when Bravo exploits situations as serious as this or as sensitive as this. I don't like it. Like I like talking shit on the internet about shows and stuff, but that's not funny to me. Her kids are clearly hurting.
Yeah, it's not funny, and I almost wish Olivia didn't come on the show
But you can't
because
blame her because kids. See, I'm estranged from my mom because my mom moved like this. She's had a cajillion marriages. She used to get with men when I remember being in middle school after my parents divorced. My mom had a new man before the ink was even dry on that divorce. I remember being in middle school, left alone. I'm the oldest of four siblings, left alone with my three younger siblings. Two of them were infants at the time for literally weeks and months at a time, just trying to do everything I could to keep CPS from finding out or to keep us from going through stuff because my mom would leave and chase after a man. So I do empathize with the daughters because I've been through something similar like that. But the daughter is going to keep trying because she's still young, one, and you get one mom, you get one dad. So even if they do the most effed up stuff to you, you still try to give them the benefit of the doubt or to make a new relationship or to feel like they matter. So I don't fault her daughter for trying, but it's just sad because I don't think that Brittany will ever be and do what her daughter needs. And I don't think she'll have the ability to be accountable. I think she knows she's wrong, but I feel like admitting that would probably harm her more than keeping stuff the way it is. And I can't blame the Mormon religion because, yes, they may teach you to do this for a man and that for a man. But Heather was part of Mormonism. She kept her kids with her, she kept her kids close. They saw their
true.
dad, but she also kept them there. So we can't even blame it on Mormonism. Like Brittany just simply is not shit, but a slice of cheese with no corners that's been sitting out. The bitch ain't shit. She's wilted.
Yeah, I I don't have hope for Britney. I don't because I feel like TV is just glorifying her and vindicating her need for a man. So I really don't feel like this is ever going to change. And it is sad to me at the same time because you could tell she is hurting and she is holding on to that glimmer of hope that her mom could come back to who she once was. But I want to tell Olivia, sometimes you have to cut parents off and leave her where they at. Because I don't think Brittany's ever going to change. I don't see her changing. I don't see her ever really admitting that, motherhood was something that she only wanted for a short period of time. You know, it's unfortunate and it's so sad, but I don't want you to, be disappointed again, because it seems like that disappointment the first time and had you had to process it was tough enough. I feel like she's going to continue to disappoint you, because all it takes is a new Jared to come around the corner and she'll forget all of that shit and go to that man, because that's what's indoctrinated in her. And that's why, and you brought up a good point about Heather, because when Heather divorced her husband, Heather didn't go out and leave her daughters and go get another man. Them girls ain't even been at their dad's house. Their dad would come over once a week and have dinner and then go about his business. So you are right. I think that it's not really the religion. I just think Brittany is just so fixated on having a man that by any means she's going to have one, even if that means neglecting her daughters, which is what she did. But to sit up there and try to help raise somebody else's kids when you got your own, that's just so fucked up. I fell for that little girl, but we gonna move on.
People do it all the time. It's
Oof.
unfortunate.
Yeah, she left that part out of the story.
Brittany
I
and
said,
Kim
wait.
Zolciak leading the colorless in terms of motherhood. I
Oh,
cannot.
don't mention her name, because y'all know I can't stand that lady for the life of me. I cannot. So we're gonna move on, y'all. The last scene. Oh no, I'm skipping something. Let me remember. I am skipping something. Okay. Bronwyn, Gwen, and Muzzy go and start planting some trees and shit. Bronwyn is having this conversation because what we learn about Bronwyn, there was a few things. Bronwyn is not a U.S. citizen, which actually makes sense to me on why her federal case was sealed. Because it actually, if she cooperated, that was probably the deal. So that actually makes sense to me now. And she's saying to her mom and daughter that her daughter's ready to move and ready to go out to Portland. And Bronwyn doesn't want her daughter to leave. And then Muzzy talking about she trying to get her out of Bronwyn's house too. And Bronwyn is trying her best to keep them there. She's trying to, say, hey, I don't want y'all to leave. Like, I'll do whatever it takes to have y'all here, because I didn't experience life alone. Like, from the moment I moved out of my parents' house, I immediately got pregnant with Gwen. So I've always had somebody. So I've never had to be alone. And I'm looking at Bronwyn, I'm like, well, you have Todd. But I forgot Todd works in New York, so he's not home only on the weekends. So Bronwyn's afraid of being alone. And I felt like, well, Bronwyn, then this is your time to start traveling, get you some good girlfriends. Y'all go to wineries, get you some activities. But to sit up there and try to convince your daughter and your mama to stay with you, that's a part of loneliness that I feel like she's trying to fill a void. And it's like, no, you need to figure out your life and do something for you.
I don't know. I'm starting to see through Bronwyn's BS because she likes to. It seems like whenever we see scenes with Bronwyn away from the women, she's trying to make herself, in my opinion, look like a victim. Bitch, how the fuck is you alone when you got a whole ass husband and you're only filming this show 3 to 6 months out of a 12-month year? If I got a husband and an adult child and no other job, and I'm worried about my husband cheating, that I got to talk to him about evolving and having an open relationship and all of that bullshit, hop your narrow ass on a plane, ho, and go be with him in New York. Is he telling you not to come with him in New York? You don't got to bother him at work. But I find that strange because Bronwyn and Todd met at work when she was working in San Francisco. Shout out to the city in the Bay Area, yee. But I don't understand how you can have a husband and feel like you are alone. If you have a husband and you feel like you're going to be alone or have a fear of being alone, then you with the wrong nigga, ho. It's that simple. It's that simple. So I'm not going to down Todd because I feel like there's more she's not telling us, but I'm just like, bro, you sitting over here planting bonsai trees with Muzzy who needs a muzzle and a daughter that wants to see the world. Let your the world and have the life that you did not have and smother her. Figure out your marriage because it's very that Bronwyn has all of these complaints about Todd and stuff. Get on a plane and go see Todd. We've had housewives across franchise after franchise that have husbands have to fly away to go be with their spouses and come back in town. We've seen it done before. I don't know what's going on in their marriage, but hop on a plane and go see him if you're lonely. Y'all can afford it. So I don't see what the issue is.
So my first thought in seeing this scene and when she said this, because that was my first thought too. Why you just can't go with Todd to New York now that Gwen is grown and then your mama trying to do her thing? Why not go with Todd to New York? So it leads me to say, and this is allegedly, I am not saying this is true by any means. Allegedly, do you think that she know Todd got a woman in New York and that's why she don't go?
I don't think Todd has a woman in New York. I think that Todd probably looks for women while he's in New York. I don't think that he has a woman though. I feel like he might look at pictures and try, but I don't feel like he has a person. But it is
Okay.
strange that she's not going out there with him. And we can't really allege nothing until she tells us more. But it's almost like Bronwyn sets Todd up to look like the bad guy. And then when the audience or the other women in the group respond, when it comes to reunions or her responding on Watch What Happens Live, she acts confused. And it's like, you're literally giving us this narrative, lady. What do you expect?
Right. Exactly.
What do you expect? And I can't say that Todd don't care about her. He's paying probably close to 15K a month for a memory care facility for her father. He's allowed her mom to move into the home. He's putting with the show. Clearly, when on camera, he's still interested in her. I feel like the worst thing Bronwyn could have done for her marriage as a married woman is go on the show. When your marriage is in a slippery situation, or when you're going through, even if it's just like a rough time in your marriage, even if it's only for a few weeks, the worst thing you could do is expose yourself to the public on an ongoing basis. And that's exactly what she's done. She also doesn't understand how to shut up. We talked about that earlier on. She has a big ass mouth. She keeps telling us all of these extra things about Todd. And I'm this kind of like, okay, I appreciate you for being open, but at the same time, being so open, you're giving us one side of the story. Then we see him, he's agitated, and we can't help but not to like him sometimes. So the way Bronwyn operates and moves is strange. I almost feel like her looking like a victim makes her feel validated about the choices that she makes for herself in life.
Interesting. Interesting. Fanny says, so James, do you think that means she didn't really do anything wrong? Because if she did really break the law, wouldn't they just deport her? Here's the thing. We don't know the case, and I don't want to prematurely speak or say things that I don't know specifically. All we know is that the penal code of what it was, and there were, on the grounds of identity theft and things of that sort, which are some subsequent of fraud. We do know that Joe Giudice on Real Housewives of New Jersey got deported as a result of him and Teresa in the mortgage fraud situation. So to me, it just seems like if she did, quote unquote, allegedly cooperated and, the case got sealed, I think that was probably what she got in exchange for her not being tied to whatever that was. So I think that's why it didn't happen, which makes sense to me once again of why it got sealed. Because to me, when something gets sealed, that means the government can't then come back and say, oh no, we need to retry you because now we've found more information. It got sealed because they can no longer go into the case and try to find more evidence against the case. That's it. That's done. She gave what she did, and that's it. That's kind of what I feel happened, and everything is alleged. I don't know because it's a legal case. It's alleged, but it's been sealed, and I feel like the sealing was to protect her from facing that if she's not a U.S. citizen. So yeah, and it makes sense to me. That made more sense to me than anything because I kind of felt like, well, since when do
If
those
something is
cases?
sealed and customs and immigration wants to see it, none of that even is relevant in this type of situation. The government can see what they want, and the government is the one that seals it. So if the government wants to unseal it, they can, and they can see it. They do it all the time. If they can do it with our presidents, they would do it with her. So I don't think that's the case. But We also have to understand that the administration that we're in now politically is not the administration that we've had for years. Even though this
Right.
is a Republican administration, this would be what I would view more like a radicalized Republican administration compared to the Republican administrations we had with Bush and, previous people. Um, y- there's lots of people that I know in California because full of immigrants, which is what makes us great. But there's a lot of people here that I know. My friend Gustavo was born in another country. He's been here his whole time, has got into some legal issues, and he wasn't deported when they break a law if they're not citizens, especially if they grew up here but were born elsewhere. There's different laws that apply to those type of immigrants than there are from someone who may have come over here as an adult. So it is different with Bronwyn, but I think what people need to learn when it comes to housewives in general is if some shit is sealed, it's sealed. That means we should not ask about it. We should not talk about it because we're not going to be able to know about it. Um, all we need to know is that the shit was over 10 years ago. She hasn't broken a law since then. She's here now. But yeah, I don't know. Bronwyn's a weirdo to me still, a little bit.
Brown, when you and Angie and Mary can be the new trio, just like James said, y'all can go on a wine tours, and Mary love her champagne, and Angie could be down for that. Yeah, I think that would be a cute little spinoff. The three of them probably doing like the Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie thing, where they just kind of go from place to place to, talk about wine and Mary's Dom Perignon 2003 and shit. I think that actually would be a cute little show because Robert Senior be off doing his thing, so he don't bother Mary. And then I feel like Sean's so invested in that in the baby that Angie can go off free, and Brahma an empty nester, her husband gone. So yeah, that could be a perfect little spinoff. But Bravo, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. Don't be taking my ideas and not giving me my money for them. I want my royalty check. If y'all create a show with Angie, Bronwyn, and Mary, I want my royalty check because it was my idea. Ain't nobody else said it but me. And then I got to give Shani her 10% because that was her idea too. Or was her idea first. So yeah, Shani get her 10%. We on my channel. I get the rest. And then we'll live it like that. And then if y'all renew the seasons, we renegotiate the contract. Shani going to get 30. I get 70. That's how that work. Yeah. I think that's what happened too. Or maybe three of them can be. Yeah. Shani, if Bravo take that idea, we taking this video up to that Bravo call center. And we getting our change. We getting our money. I'm telling you, we getting our money. Anyways, y'all, we got to move on to the last scene, the bullshit scene of it all. So Meredith asked Brittany to meet with her at the park. And in a very condescending way, Meredith was like, well, Brittany, thank you for meeting me and everything. I just want to let you know that the conversation, that was had, I'm sorry that you felt that way and everything. And really wasn't nothing. And pretty much dismissed Brittany's whole experience on the flight. Pretty much. But she did apologize. That's all Brittany heard. See, what I heard was, and this is what not Meredith said. I heard Brittany, look, I said what I said. Oh, well, you heard it. I didn't care if I hurt your little feelings. I didn't care, if the situation was and you brought something up about my husband. So I thought it was fair game to tear your ass up on that plane the way I did. I kicked your seat. I did all the things I said I did. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. So, oh, well. You either take it or you leave it.
Hey, how you gonna deny some shit up and down just to call the girl to apologize? You
That's
calling
what I
her
said.
lets us know that you did something. I'm so
Right.
tired of Meredith. Meredith, you can leave.
Right.
Because
And
outside of your privileged panic attacks, whatever the fuck I'm gonna call it, I'm sorry, Meredith gives Karen. I don't care what nobody says. The way that this lady be flipping out and doing people, aside from her flipping out over nothing, she gives nothing to the show. I don't care for Seth. I don't like her kids. One of them's boring and the other one's thirsty and can't style for shit. I don't care for her husband. He's awkward and a little bit creepy. They can go. The Marks family can go. I don't
I
like these people.
agree.
I never have. And like season 1 of this show, I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed. But Meredith had me on Jen Shaw's side. I was sick of her. And she's just progressed into like this miserable entity that can't dress. And I'm sick of it. And I think she
It was
needs a BBL. It's
it
too
was the fact
flat
that she
back
sat
there.
there in this lady's face and said, "Look, you may have heard it, you may not. I said some things to Lisa that obviously you heard, and it is what it is. Like I said it, and it was only because it was a response to you showing a TikTok that you didn't show me, but you just told me about it. But I'm sorry that it hurt your feelings, but I really don't give a fuck." That's pretty much what she said. She didn't say that, y'all. I'm not saying she said that, but that's what I heard when I was looking at the scene. Pretty much, I don't give a fuck about you crying. I didn't give a fuck that I hurt your feelings. I didn't give a fuck that I did that shit. I didn't give a fuck what happened to you. I was mad about what happened to me, which is what you said. So Brittany, because Brittany ain't got no, fire in her the way I would have had. I would have told Meredith, first of all, let me tell you something, you overzealous ass Karen. You had no right to sit up there and talk about me as if I wasn't in the room. If you had something to say to me, you should have said it to me and tell me how you really felt. But you ain't about it. See, Meredith picked on Brittany because she knew Brittany wasn't going to go back and forth. Brittany was only going to cry. And Brittany was going to do exactly what she did in this scene, which is, well, Meredith, I'm sorry, about the whole TikTok thing. Maybe it wasn't the best thing just to bring that up. And,
Meredith is a bully and she tries to hide behind it. And this is what Karens do. Meredith is a freaking bully. Because Meredith wouldn't dare try the shit that she tries with Brittany, with any of the women. Like if Jen Shaw was still here, she wouldn't do it.
no,
She
she
wouldn't
would.
do it. She wouldn't dare do it. Jen Shaw sat up there and supposedly spoke about your child, Meredith. And you are more upset with Brittany? Goodbye.
No, she's more upset because it sounds like there's some truth to them rumors.
It
Which,
doesn't even matter the
yeah,
reason. It's just the fact that somebody spoke about your child season 1, supposedly. That's what she tried to do. Oh, my son, this made Brooks her whole storyline for the longest. For the longest. You were so offended at your children being brought up. Why do you appear angrier at this, which is just some shit about your husband that we know you don't really like?
it just to me, I couldn't have been Brittany sitting there. And the fact that
Brittany's weak too, because
Brittany
don't
just
be on a
took it.
show if you're gonna just accept people treating you like shit. I don't understand. But then again, look how she let the men she date treat her. So I'm not surprised
True.
at her either.
Yeah, true. The fact that you apologized to Meredith over that TikTok, first of all, Meredith wouldn't have got shit out of me. It would have been hell. It probably would have been ended with both of us taking off our shoes and going to jail in Utah. That's just how it would have been, because I'm telling you, there's just no way you're going to sit in my face and tell me, I don't know what you heard, didn't hear. I don't know how you felt or what you didn't feel. I know I didn't do anything. I just vented to my friend. I'm sorry that that's what you had to hear, but it is what it is. And I'm sorry that it hurt your feelings. I said, Meredith, wow. Y'all ain't got no hood booger friends out there. I know Monica had them. And I wish Monica was still on the show, because I need somebody that's going to give Meredith a run for her money.
Anybody could give Meredith a run for her money, and people have been doing it. The problem is production. Meredith should have been gone a long time ago. She's boring.
I think she's
Meredith is
been.
literally everything she complains about. She is the lies. She is the nastiness. I'm sick of her.
Well, she ain't going nowhere no time soon, apparently. So we just got to deal with her. But y'all, I didn't want to go over that whole scene because I was pissed because Meredith gaslit the fuck out of Brittany, and Brittany was stupid to fall for that shit. Because I'd have said, I don't accept your apology. That's bullshit. You know what you did. You know what you put me through. You know all of this. And until we hear that, I would have got up and walked away and said, you know what? She obviously can't be accountable because she gonna stick to this bullshit that she didn't do it. When I know what I felt, and I know someone kicked my chair. I know wine spilled over me. I know someone was going on and hours about a fucking TikTok. I know all that happened. If I was Brittany, this was what I would have did. So until she can admit that, there's nothing to talk about because you're not going to sit here and patronize me about you saying what I may or may not have heard or may or may not have felt, and you're apologizing because it hurt my feelings. That's gaslighting to the extreme. And if I was Brittany, I would have cussed Meredith out at that park. But y'all know, Brittany ain't like that. Brittany's one of them passive ass women who just wants to be liked by everybody. So she's going to do that by any means necessary. So I guess, they're going to put that behind them and move forward. Brittany better than me once again, because there's no fucking way. But this ain't me. That's Brittany. That's Meredith. But that was the show, y'all. It was a filler episode. It was okay for what it was. I can't wait to see the next week's episode. Meredith makes them all do drug tests. That shit is funny as hell. I'm sorry. I had to laugh at that shit. Wow. So
More Karen behavior.
Maybe Meredith will leave the show next season because now she's a worldwide international DJ. Wishful thinking, Shannon. That lady ain't going no damn where. But on this show,
to be a true DJ, a respected DJ, does not mean to just be a DJ of a one genre. It means that you understand genres, subgenres, and everything in between. Meredith is just riding whatever she can ride right now. I think that a lot of people enjoy Salt Lake City because it's been one of the few Housewives franchises that have been consistent for the past few years in entertainment. But this lady is not interesting enough to maintain that DJ gig. I give that shit a year. I feel like by the next season we get of Housewives of Salt Lake City, she will not be DJing on a serious tip no more.
The fact that the one little DJ clip that I saw of her, she was playing Rumors by Lindsay Lohan. It was kind of like Meredith, really.
I want to know if she even knows the name of her turntable or how to use it. Because I feel like she's just picking songs and then going up there and somebody told her what buttons to click. I don't.
And then the other thing is she can't even dance either. It was just embarrassing.
No, bitch, you ain't Pauly D. Go somewhere.
Right. But that was it, y'all. It was an okay episode. Thank you guys for being here. The next time we are live on my channel will actually be this Sunday for Love and Marriage Huntsville. We'll be also live on Sunday for Mrs. Best channel as we do the last episode of Surviving Mormonism and also this recent episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. You guys do not want to miss out because both of those episodes were crazy and got on my nerves and was triggering to all extents. So you want to make sure you subscribe to Mrs. Best if you haven't already. Her information is in my description box. Please do not miss out. Have a great, happy Thanksgiving, Turkey Day, Indigenous People Day, however you want to call it. I'm going to call it, I'm feeding my belly. This is my time to get this kind of food once a year that I'm excited about. Shani said, wanted to talk to you about Real Housewives of Potomac. We're gonna talk, Shani. We're gonna talk. I'll create a live where we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll do something separate, a little special after Thanksgiving, because I didn't see the preview for Real Housewives of Potomac. I have not seen it yet. Just because sometimes when you have Peacock, they kind of cut it off when you watch it fresh and they don't put what's coming next. So I don't know what's happening as far as that. I do know, and I've heard Kempire say that Stacey got vindicated. So, which I don't. I told y'all in my video, I don't believe that she was the person who told him. I don't even believe that even happened, because in my mind, if I know my ex is talking about me on national TV, I'm going to my ex, not some lady named Cookie.
Charisse, the sneak peek was pretty much just Charisse calling Chris Samuels. Chris Samuels was upset that he was even involved in the show and was confused on what's going on, which did vindicate Stacey. I think it won't even be too much to discuss. These women still are acting like Stacey's a problem. The same way Charisse picked up the phone to call Chris. Cookie, you claim Chris called you, right? Pick up your phone and call him. You big tittied hoe. Call him.
I'm gonna say it for a record before we end this video. I don't want to see Sharice after this episode. I don't want to see her anymore. Please stop trying to make Sharice happen. She's
Sharice
not
did what
going.
none of these other women could do. And though I don't care for Eeyore on the show, it shows a lot that Sharice was able to call him. She's well connected. That's why she's still here. Now, these women are saying that Chris Samuels called them. If he has your phone number and felt comfortable calling you, then y'all call him on speaker and bring it up. But they can't do that. The Potomac's doing good this season. They're doing a little better, but I don't think that it will last the momentum because they're all still trying to lie and gang up on people.
Sharice and her wig will be there next week. Sharice, that ain't no wig. That's a sew
That's
in.
a sew-in. That's the old
That ain't
school
no,
sew-in with the
right.
hard closure. The
With a hard
hard full
closure.
closure at the top middle.
Right. Because she don't want no. Because she didn't want no leave out.
She probably
So
rewashing the same bundles that she was using in
it looked
2007.
like it. When I tell y'all that's the same sew in she had in season 2, I
She
promise
got
you
that
that's the,
Milky Way Yaki.
yeah. I'm
One
telling
Beast 440.
you know that's the one you have to wash in the sink and let it dry on the chair. Just nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. But that's it, y'all. I did, acknowledge that, Shani. Thank you for letting me acknowledge that. We will be here for Real Housewives of Potomac. So, yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to read her for filth. We're going to read her for exact filth when it comes to that episode.
Therese
Whenever
needs to just make sure that she get the AA before she crash into a tree like Karen, because we know y'all was partners in crime back in the day.
I got too many aunties and cousins. I done seen some shit in my day. Sorry. Microwave curls and all. Yep. I done seen some shit I did not need to see as a kid. Because now the shit never leaves your mind. But that's it, y'all. I'm going to go now. Thank y'all so much once again. I have a busy day tomorrow. I hope everyone once again enjoys their Thanksgiving, Turkey Day, or Indigenous People Day, whatever you celebrate, however you wish. I hope you get a good meal and enjoy your family before you have to hit the headache of the pavement of work. See you guys later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.